It's LIN live with Spank and Sam. It's a show for everyone, boy, woman, girl, and man. So tune in on Facebook and YouTube. Guaranteed to make you laugh and make you feel good. Yeah, it's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam. It's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam. It's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam. It's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam.
Hey, welcome everybody to LIN Live. I am Alfonso Spanky Jones.
I'm Samuel Sam Anthony. Let's see. Oh.
We got it. But we welcome you again to LIN Live. This is episode number 7. Seven. And we are excited to be with you all. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share. Let's share this episode with everybody so we can get on everybody's phones and just blow it up and share some positivity and be entertaining and whatnot.
Yeah, we got our first like. Shout out to whoever gave that first like.
Come on, let's
Shout out to whoever you are.
Let's see if we can not get any sad faces, angry faces, or tear.
Yeah,
people be like trying to like stuff, but be moving too fast. You give us angry faces, like, dang, what would we say to make you so angry?
Get at least like one angry face a week.
That's the goal. Is just like at least one.
Yeah, we appreciate the comments though. We just don't like the angry comments. But criticism. So.
But we have our first advertiser on the show. We're gonna go ahead and get this out the way. Shouts out to Gold Coast Barbershop.
Yep.
Our very own Brian Coleman. He cut me up. I want y'all to see this haircut. Let me see. Boom, angles in there. Oh,
fresh. Angles.
Oh, angles.
Did you see the angles?
We're getting fancy over here. But Gold Coast Barbershop, if you can go ahead and throw that video up. Gold Coast Barbershop is located in the heart of Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood at 100 East Walton. Come relax, unwind, and in a safe and completely private luxury atmosphere. Experience the next level of men's grooming and schedule an appointment with Master Barber Brian Coleman. You can book. Can you play that video one more time? At goldcoastbarbershopshy.com. Also, you can connect with him on all of the socials at Gold Coast Barbershop.
Hey.
That's Brian Coleman at Gold Coast Barbershop. He has made me a guy who was thinning up top look less thinning and in the game. Cause I walked down the street to the store and like some women saw the lining and it was just like behind the mask. They was like, "Ooh, your lining goes into your mask really nicely." And I was like, "Thank you." I appreciate you.
See, shout out to Brian. And he called himself a master barber. I've never heard anybody call themselves that.
Dude,
so
only a few.
Really good thing.
Only a few people. Barber. Only a few people can be master barbers. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody. There can only be one.
So get y'all a master barber. Check out Gold Coast Barbershop, Brian Coleman. And he's a good person too. He'll have a great conversation with you.
Yeah, definitely. Like we had a really good conversation. He's got a couple things in the works too, so watch out for that. Watch out for Brian Coleman, man. He's on some other level stuff with some really good content that might be coming out. So you're in for a treat. Sam, how was your Sunday morning tonight, bro? Or today?
My day was pretty dope today. Really chill Sunday. I've made it a point to keep my Sundays pretty light. Because I'm doing stuff the rest of the week. So it was cool. I watched a little football. I chillaxed. I went to service today. Lived in Chicago.
Hey.
I was at Liberty Philly too. I was at Bolingbrook for a second. I was in Waukegan and San Diego. Now don't ask me what they talked about. I ain't gonna lie. I just saw they was on. I hearted it up a little bit. Not angry faces or sad faces. Hearts. Hearted it up. And then I got off. But I was there.
You got to get you multiple devices, bro. You got to get you like a cell phone, tablet, and just like you got to get 8 devices just so you can attend all 8 liberties at the same time.
And one time, I mean, no. I won't
That was such a decisive no. It was like, nah, I'm good, fam. It was good. Like I produced like on the technical side the Bolingbrook service today. So, you know, getting my work in, you know, getting looking forward to working out this new toy that I got. You know, the switcher. I mean yeah, sexy fades. But yeah, like just looking to, you know, contribute as best I can to as many services as I can with my services. I just said services like 5 times.
I know. So you serving the services with your services.
Bro, say that 5 times fast.
Someone in the comments, please, serving the services with your services.
Type it up. Type it 5 times fast. Get you a finger cramp. What up, Jaquay?
What's going on, Jaquay?
Yeah, so this was just a really good day, really chill. I got the best sleep I ever got last night. So somebody's praying for me, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, yo, as an adult, all adults here should know how important it is to sleep. Get your rest, please.
You only typed it 1 time. You gotta do it 5 times, Brian.
5 times.
But
like a paragraph.
as fast as you can, Good evening, Wanda.
Y'all. Do we have some hey, Auntie Wanda. Hey. Do we have any announcements for this week? Let's get these out of the way.
Let's knock them out of the way. So this weekend, Liberty Temple will be hosting a game night this Friday. That's the 30th. Yep. This Friday will be the game night for the network. So you can come on, get on the Zoom ID. It'll be on the Liberty International Network Facebook page. So you don't have to yell at us to keep this up here. Or you can go back and watch this and get this information again. Yeah. Just throwing it out there. But right. So it'll be games, prizes, and fun. You know it's gonna be fun because it got fun on the flyer twice. Double the fun.
You remember, anytime you say something twice, it gives an extra emphasis. So it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun, bro.
fun.
And then on this Saturday, one of our future contributors to the show, Sherelle Collins, will be featured for Naomi's Corner, Big Sis. She has a little promo video, so let's go ahead and show that right now.
Well, let's drop it.
Drop that video.
It's your girl, Chanel Collins from Liberty, Orlando. I just wanted to personally invite you all out to our Big Sis event that we're having on Friday, October the 30th. It begins at 7 p.m. Chicago time, but 8 p.m. Orlando time. So Big Sis is pretty much a mentorship program that we began to empower our young adult women as well as our young teenage girls. It's a place where you can be free, you can be yourself, but most of all, you can be heard. So, if you're looking for a safe place where you can be empowered, especially for parents, if you're looking for a safe place for your young adult or your young teenage girl, then please get them registered on eventbrite.com. Now, we will have a special co-host who is going to be none other than our very own Danae Harris. So, please be prepared to turn up, to have fun, but also to be real. Now, this event is absolutely free, so all you have to do is register on eventbrite.com. I'll be looking forward to seeing you on Friday, October 30th. See you then. Be safe.
You gotta love the 2-second music loops. That just
they're amazing.
It keeps you, keeps you engaged.
Yeah. So check that out this Friday, Big Sis.
So Friday's Big Sis. Saturday is the game night. Then Sunday you come back here and you get to hang with us again.
3 nights of fun.
fun, bro.
I'm excited for this fun. Yeah, so check that out. We know that we need mentoring in this day and age. I have mentors. I know Spanky has mentors. You should always have a mentor, no matter how young or old you are. So if you have some young women in your life, hook them up, connect them to that so they can get mentored and
Yeah, and
led the right way.
your mentor don't always have to be older than you either. You know what I'm saying? Just somebody that's keeping you accountable and looking out for you and able to give you sound advice and not encourage you to make bad decisions like a couple of my mentors do.
Mhm.
I have good mentors and I have bad mentors.
That's true. You know who are some of the best influences though? They're not mentors, but kids. If you want to know what to do right, ask a kid.
Yep.
Sometimes, not all the time.
No,
Ask the right kid.
Kids are so honest, especially with this topic that we'll be talking about tonight. Like they'll tell you, like, nah, bro, that's whack.
That's trash.
You trash, bro. Like, let me get you a hefty bag and just throw your stuff in it because you trash.
You thought that was a good idea, huh?
Oh man, you felt confident about that decision, didn't you? Somebody needed this roast tonight. So somebody right now is wearing something you don't need to wear. So all these jokes we just said, apply that to your situation right now.
Your life. Your life.
You
don't
need
someone who the switchers though. I hope I'm not the only one that's abused by the switchers. Shout out to Brian with servicing the services with your service. He
did it.
Service 5 times.
Oh
Brian
no, my camera might have died.
Servicing the services with your service. Yeah. This show is something we're excited to have tonight because if you all saw the promo, you know that this isn't a church-centric conversation tonight. We're leaning away from a tad bit just to have some fun tonight.
Yeah.
And before we bring our guest on, if you haven't shared this, please share.
Share it now.
I wish I had like a piano or like that sad music that they play in the infomercials.
In the eyes of an angel.
For 79 cents a day.
I don't know the words.
You can sponsor the LIN show. So
in the eyes of an... I'm sorry.
Oh, those things made me feel so sad. Do I ever contribute? No.
You just pray for him because that's what Christians do. You just be like, dear Jesus, you know, save that little child right there. The one,
right there.
The one with the booger and the fly that's on top of the snot.
And it's like, yo, I've been seeing these same commercials for like 30 years. And it's like, yo, do y'all got some new kids? I need to say, I'm pretty sure these kids are grown by now. Can y'all stop showing these same
You never know. Because without the right nutrition, they can't grow, right? They could be that same size forever and ever and ever until they get the right piece of steak or the right piece of non-meat, you know? It depends on if the vegans get to them first, you know?
Yeah. So share this video. Don't let the vegans get to the kids. I'm joking.
The kids need milk.
People gonna be like, I said on the LIN show that vegans ain't saved. Vegans should stay away from the kids. No, it's okay.
No.
We love vegans.
We just I love vegans. I just don't like their choice of the way. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna be vegan all of November, so let me stop talking.
Man, look, you did put me on to a really dope vegan restaurant. I would shout it out, but
they ain't paying for it, dog.
You feel me? But they are black owned.
They are black owned. So if you want to know what that is, like hit us up in the DMs and we'll put you on. Especially like if you're in the Chicago Hyde Park area, we got you.
Dope food.
Very dope food. So let's get into this, man. So you know, as a fashion expert myself, you know, lies.
The guru.
Lies. But we wanted to kind of just bring in a conversation that a lot of people like have thought about but never really talked about, and that's fashion and culture. and how fashion has affected culture, has affected fashion. So we gonna get into that tonight with one of our guests. This young man is the brother of our co-host, and you're gonna be doing double takes all night because you're gonna be like, which one is which? Because they look like twins.
I have on a hat. Sam has on a green hat.
So let's welcome to the show Jonathan Anthony. Okay, I guess I'll bring him on. Wait, he had a whole intro, bro.
What's up, y'all?
You gotta do your intro over.
So this is Sam's brother. He gonna be on the show. He looked like Sam. Welcome to the show, Jonathan Anthony.
He had a whole piece of paper of y'all. Y'all missed it. We missed it.
It's all good. We sorry. We sorry.
And he gonna have that super strong arm by the end of the show. We just tried to do it over, and you just did not catch the hint. It's cool.
It's all right.
We'll talk about you later.
Yeah, offline. So yeah, we're excited to have you on the show, bro. And then our other guest for the show tonight, I look at him as one of my fashion mentors, outside of John and my other brothers. This man has taught me a lot about fashion. He's an icon himself. Let's bring on Stephen Vose Willis.
Stevie, you gotta unmute your microphone, bro.
Vose.
Yeah. Keep it sanitized, boy.
I have any Bel Air, so I gotta get the
so mad. But no, it's like, so I feel like whenever I dress well and Steven or Sam or John, they compliment me on my outfit, I'm like, it's like making a comedian laugh. It's like, oh my God, I've accomplished something in my life. So, I'm so happy to have you all on right now.
Yeah. Let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
So let's talk. And we can all answer this question. John, what's your fashion history or your fashion story? Tell us.
You say, what is mine like?
Yeah, your fashion history, your story. Let us know.
My history, it's just kind of like a big old gumbo. It's just a mix of a bunch of different things. Of course, a lot of urban inspired wear. So a lot of what you'll see in the streets every day. A lot of hippie wear. So I can definitely get a lot of eccentric with it. I like to be a little bit preppy, and then also I always gotta jump out the box. Like if it's nothing, it has to be something to jump out the box. I always gotta set myself apart. So regardless of what I'm doing, what style I'm in, what feel I'm in, I still gotta jump out the box with it in my own way, just to make it work. It don't feel right if I look like somebody else. Let's put it like that.
Okay. All right, Steve, let us know a little bit about your style and your fashion history.
Well, as you said earlier, I invented style and fashion. I'm really a product of my influences. My dad was really preppy. Grew up. He had all different color Izods. So I was never afraid of color or anything like that. And then as I got older, my barber / big bro, Kev, kind of took me under his wing, because I remember a time when I when I was really trying, when I was feeling myself, and I went and got some jeans. I got a cuff put in some jeans and a crease put in. He was like, this is before. He was like, all right, man, I gotta show you the ropes. You out here looking like an old head. Really my journey, meeting people. One of my homies, who's a relatively popular designer right now. I met him in college. He put me on to some things. And in high school, I found out about Leaders when they were on 53rd Street. There was a Borders on 53rd Street. It used to be this magazine called Sneaker Freaker. and they had like all these shoes in them, Nikes, Adidas, whatever, from like different places in the country. And I had like it was called a Sneaker Freaker Bible. And I got that book, and then with leaders, and then they just like put me on. So in high school, I'm like finding out about all this stuff, like, oh, there's a whole nother culture here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the beginnings of me really getting into it. But I couldn't have done it alone.
I feel that. Spanky,
Facts.
do you have a facts? You heard nothing somebody said the whole conversation? You like,
Dude, I was listening, but like, I was also having some technical issues over here. But like, so what was like, when did you realize you needed help with your fashion? Like, we was like, yeah, like without somebody telling you, like, did you come to that realization yourself, or you looked in the mirror and was like, I ain't cutting it?
No. Well, personally, no. Like, cause I'm thinking like I'm doing it. I was in really good shape at that point in time. I was in high school, so I could wear anything almost. But it was a matter of somebody coming and like showing me like, okay, these are the rules. Like, break them if you want, but know them first.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was more so like somebody saying like, oh, these are this is how you do this. This is and dress clothes as well. You know what I'm saying? Belt match your shoes.
Right.
Unless it doesn't. But just like the other, like they give you the ground rules and then you can kind of move from there.
Yeah, I feel that a lot. Describe your style, Steve.
I would say irreverent prep. So I love Ralph. In my opinion, Ralph is the end all be all of designer. Ralph Lauren is the end all be all of designers. So many different labels. Just like you can dress it up or you can dress it down. And it always works. So I would say prep like in the Ralph side. Edgy sometimes. I'm edgier when I'm slimmer, and like my weight fluctuates. So when I'm slimmer, I'm taking more risk. Like you won't catch me doing like jeans with rips in them unless I'm a slimmer dude. Like you'll never see my thigh knee in some jeans, personally. But that's just because you'll see my ankle maybe, but never my knee.
Spank, describe your style for the people. Give us a little insight about your influences when it comes to your fashion.
My style influences is comfort. I like comfort. I used to be like that guy that dressed up all the time when I felt like I was under conviction for how I dressed. But once I got liberated on what people thought, and I just started dressing for myself and what was comfortable for me, I feel like that's when I started looking better in my clothing and stuff like that. And then shouts out to a future sponsor. They don't know yet, but they will be. Threadbeast, because I get all of my clothes from a box. I have a stylist that is assigned to me, and they send me pieces every month, and that is how I dress. So, Threadbeast.
John, you used to work for a company that did styling like that, right? At some point.
Yeah. It was a personal styling company. They did similar to what Threadbeast is. I prefer not to use the company name. They kind of don't have the same service they used to. So yeah, but yeah, definitely. I mean, we all need influence from somewhere. Just like Steve. I mean, nobody knows like that I was wearing. Person that knew that. You feel me? Pulled me to the side. It was like, hey John, you don't wear those color belts with those color shoes. You feel me? I mean, you gotta have those people that kind of influence you, put you on the game and let you know, like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you shouldn't wear that. It works out for you in the long run.
I feel that. We got a question that came up. Does fashion make the man, or does the man make the fashion statement? I can answer that for myself. If you are confident,
true.
Sorry, Jaquay said you got an Android. If you are confident in what you wear, you're able to make a statement. So the person makes the fashion. I can put on something that other people think is trash, and when I put it on, it just looks good because of my confidence in it. Or I could put on something that's trash that I think is trash.
But if you wear it confidently, yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, bro.
What y'all thoughts?
Well, let's before we get into there, we want to let you know that we're not just talking about this from a male point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Steve, you go first.
Nope. We
have to wait. She was there, and I was like ready to like get like gas her up, and then she's like, "Nah, I'm out." But go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Oh no, I'm but I think it depends on who you are. One of the things I've learned is that, like, if you like designer, that's who you are. Like, some people, like, it really doesn't matter what they're wearing; they just want it to have a name on it. Like, some people, like, going back to Ralph. There's Ralph that does not have a horse on it. Mm-hmm. Then there's Ralph that has a big pony on it. Depending on who you are, you will gravitate towards one of those. And it works like that. Some people are like, oh, check out this. Oh, this is Prada. Oh, this is whatever, you know, and that's who they are. So it really just depends on who the person is. Like, some people, they don't care about brands. Some people do. I don't have an issue with either one of them. So it's always the person at the end of the day, and it's just us three. It's always the person. It's always the person at the end of the day that's going to really make that decision. But like, sometimes clothes can wear you. There's a lot of sisters out here wearing these shoulder pads, and they should, you know, I just want to know what team they play for after church on Sunday. Chill out on them shoulder pads.
Well, right, so let's go ahead and bring her in before she disappears again, Sam.
We have a living legend in my eyes, a future icon and the current icon in the fashion world. So if you don't know her, you need to know her. Let's give it up for Destiny Wesley as she joins the show.
Hey, welcome, Destiny. There we go.
Hey, hi. Hi, guys.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Turn your phone into landscape mode instead of portrait mode. That's sideways.
Flip. Oh, okay, because I'm like,
we'll go from to this. Oh,
wow.
Oh, got it.
Most people struggle with that.
Well, you know.
Good job. Great job.
Thank you.
So Destiny, we just had a question about fashion. And they were asking, does fashion make the person, or does the person make the fashion?
So the question is, say it again.
Does fashion make the man or the person, or does the man make the fashion?
Or woman?
The man should make the fashion, but in many ways, fashion has made the man. Would you like me to go in detail?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a conversation. So,
so that's it.
Well,
because she's like, indubitably.
I've seen both. I've seen both. Just a little background. I grew up in a school called Thornridge High School.
Hey, TTHS. I'm sorry, District 205. Sorry.
District 205. I love them to death. But man, did I see a lot of fashion making the man. I'm talking about like fights, literally over apparel, to the point of death. So it's in many ways made the man. And I heard you guys talking a little bit about how people care so much about what they're wearing and it having to be name brand. But I agree that it shouldn't really matter. That fashion doesn't make you any more of a person, right? It doesn't make you cool like we grew up thinking. But I agree that fashion does not or should not make a person. But it should. But the person should be making the fashion.
Facts. Let's bring John back in. You know, since he on the Android life.
I'm sorry, brother.
Is that what the issue is? Android people.
Yeah, on the Android AT&T.
For whatever reason, nobody calls me. I'm like, what do you all want?
Pray for the people. Pray for the Android. Didn't we get into this a couple weeks ago about y'all Android lovers? we won't go there again. But
we could though, because you know, technology is now a part of fashion, though.
It
You know what I'm
is.
saying? So like these status symbols like Beat headphones or iPhone, you ain't in unless you got technology. If you ain't got like the smartwatch, stuff like that.
Back.
That is true. You should
Are you really?
when it comes to
Are you
the
really?
fashion of tech, I believe in something that's really wild to some people. The simpler the better. So I have a Go iPhone, but I keep a black case on it. Because I cracked the back of my phone. But that's the only reason why. No, but for me, I don't like my technology, my MacBook, my phone, anything I have to draw any more attention than it needs to. I would rather my clothes do the talking instead of my technological devices. If that's a word, it is a word.
It is.
Nah, that's real.
Definitely a word.
I know some crazy, insane dressers like yourself who are still suffering with an Android. So it's
No,
hey.
sorry.
Nah, I
It's
just
okay.
give
Okay.
my privacy.
Okay.
Give my
Hey.
privacy.
Really, listen.
Privacy.
And studies have shown that Android users are actually more innovative than Apple users, but we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that.
That'll take me all the way
And
over
they're
there.
more free thinking, and they're more likely to think outside the box. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm gonna let y'all live, though. Let y'all live.
Chinese.
Okay. It looks good. It looks good.
I have an Apple, and like Androids are killing it. The One Pluses and the Samsungs, like those are like top tier.
They're cool. Like I just came from Samsung, so I get what y'all saying. But ever since I entered this ecosystem of Apple, my life has improved.
See, you sold out, brother.
You can't capture your fashion with the Android, I mean, sometimes you guys' camera's quality is great. I've seen it. I won't lie. I've seen it. My auntie's phone, especially if we're like somewhere dark and y'all flash is really nice. But anyway.
But not in John's case right now where we're on a video chat and his video looks like trash.
Exactly.
You can't blame that's the connection. That's the cricket. It's not the you know, I like that. You got
I can't even get it, bulls.
you got an actual headline. You can take that smoke. Really quick though, on the Louis Vuitton makes a smartwatch. It's expensive, but it's a cooler looking smartwatch than Apple has. So like there are companies who make smartwatches that are nicer. But I would always go with an actual watch over a smartwatch, personally.
Did Louis Vuitton pay you to say that, Steve?
They did not.
Wow.
Steven really impresses me with his like understanding and innovation or understanding of innovation in fashion and technology. He really does know a lot.
He is. That's why Steve's my mentor. This man is the GOAT.
I'm trying to figure out how
he is a goat.
Actually, I just shaved the beard. Okay, so
he is a goat.
All right,
He's a man goat.
Let's talk. What I believe everybody has like a favorite fashion era, right? Like some people like the 80s, some people like the 90s, some people like the 1920s. What's your favorite like fashion era that you could think of off the top of your head?
I'm a fan of the 70s and the 60s, just because like the clothes were much looser, like everywhere. So it's all about comfort. So, it's more love than style. You know what I'm saying? So that's just me.
More love than snug.
I say 90s. I love the 90s. I agree that even the 90s was really baggy, but it wasn't about just it being baggy, but the style of it, the colors, and the way that they expressed themselves through fashion and creativity was genius. It was extremely like dope and free. But it all had some sort of like identity. Like everyone's style had that 90s feel to it. You can identify 90s, like even if people wear something in 90s fashion right now, like it's like, oh, I know where that's from because it's identifiable. Today's fashion isn't that identifiable like it was then, but fashion in the 90s was crazy. I loved it.
John, or Free, as I like to call you. What's your favorite era?
I'll say it's a tie with me. I would say between the 80s and like the early 2000s, the 80s, because that's when you got a lot more like the color pop situation. So you got a lot more of your light blues, your pastel colors and stuff like that. Like you saw guys start to actually like step outside the box and not care about like, okay, I'm gonna look, a certain way if I wear these certain colors. Like guys actually got bold with their color choosing in the 80s. I think that was a really dope time. Then those styles, like even now, like Asher Wash, like blue jean jackets, like stuff that literally to this day you can always throw on. So it's like they really gave us a lot of staples in the 80s. And then the early 2000s, because I mean, that was just a whole nother era. The jerseys, you feel me? The baggy Jabot jeans, you feel me? You go get you a do-rag, pair of crispy Air Force Ones, some Reeboks. You get away with some K-Swiss back then, you feel me? Like it was a whole different setup back there. Like so that those two, and then I think that's what kind of made me into kind of brought out my flashier side and made me do like more experiment because it was like that was the thing. Like everybody wanted to be flashy, everybody wanted to be the man, so you have to show it.
That's real. Bring back the Jabot jeans with the straps, please.
With the straps.
Hey, but it was a song that popped in my head when he said K Swiss, and we can't sing that song right here.
That song popped in my head too.
The 90s is that song killed K Swiss in the 90s for a lot of people because like there was such a stigma attached to K Swiss, and when people saw you in K Swiss in school, they was like, "Oh, you got those K Swiss on."
Boy, no, boy.
And they had jeans to go with it. That made it even worse. I
They
think
was
my
cold.
favorite style era, fashion era, was the biblical days. John the Baptist was out here with the camel robe on,
The robe and the
And-
sandals.
a leather belt. That's next level.
Bro.
Who else is wearing that?
Prophet Dwight has that coat actually, the exact one.
Nah,
and they didn't have to worry about draws back then, so it was like it was just letting it hang. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yo,
you had a robe on and just
they definitely had a boxer briefs back then.
That's true.
but I'm pretty sure if they did, his were camel. Like this man was walking around with camel skin on his back, just like that in the woods, yelling at people about.
he walked past the camera, was like, "I like that, skin it." Give me that.
For me, my favorite style era, fashion era, has to be it's a mix. So I'll just say the last 50 years, because there have been so much in the last 50 years that you can like pick and choose from. Jaquay made a point about fashion is a circle. So pretty much everything that we wear now, somebody wore before or wore something similar to that. But I believe in the last 50 years, what we've seen in fashion is going to carry us through at least the rest of our lives.
Facts.
What about you, Steve? What's your favorite era?
As I'm Googling, I'm thinking like when I think about like my style icons, like just from pop culture, I know like Sean Connery is James Bond. That's around the 60s. I think that is for me personally is like a really timeless thing. Love the polos. I love the fact that they hit like right above the elbow. The pants were cropped and as slim as they were doing in that point in time. I also like the 50s style, like almost like Grease, the Greasers.
Hey.
The leather jackets or the Letterman jackets with the jeans with the serious cuff in them. With the selvage jeans, serious cuff. That kind of like classic American style. British tailoring, which is kind of defined by the fact that it's hardly ever changed and it's still wonderful. So I would say like 50s, 60s is probably my favorite. But like Jaquay was saying, but a lot of it it's really cyclical. Like a lot of it, it's just like it's a repeat. The 90s style is it really in the last 10 years it's really made a comeback. In 80 it was kind of 80s style right before that. So a lot of the silhouettes actually the last maybe 4 to 5 years, and like when you look at the pictures from Fashion Week, you know, the guys just walking around. There's this conference in Italy called Pitti Uomo,
Hold
Pitti
on.
Imagine.
Hold on,
And-
Steve. Is somebody typing right now? Is someone
some weird feedback?
like someone's typing? Is no one typing right now? We've been hacked. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Actually, real quickly, Jaquay said, "Would hair be considered fashion?" I know I'm not the host, but it would be if I had any Jaquay. Can we cancel Jaquay? Can anybody?
Wait, Jaquay said, "Would hair be considered fashion?"
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bad,
Definitely.
Steve. What trend is that, Steve?
Hmm?
What trend is that?
What you
That's
say?
the classic look right there. That's the classic MJ right there.
That's the shine. That's the number 9 on the barbershop poster.
This is the infinity pool. Okay, this is the DIY network.
But I like that question, Jaquay, because it leads us into our first advertiser of the show, ladies and gentlemen, which is Gold Coast Barbershop. Brian Coleman, who cut me up very nicely. Angles. My other camera.
Yeah.
My other
Check 'em
camera
out.
died.
Gold Coast Barbershop. Really dope barber.
Make your appointment for Gold Coast Barbershop at goldcoastbarbershopshy.com. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Brian Coleman.
Follow them on social media at Gold Coast Barbershop. That's it.
You know, so if you
Yeah.
and if you do have another business or you're a stylist or you want to advertise on the show, just email thelibertynet@yahoo.com and we'll get you on the show. So Steven, you were in the middle of telling us, you know, where you were.
Oh no, but Jaquay asked a question. He said he was serious, and I believe Destiny kind of touched on it. Hair really is fashion. It really is an expression, a further expression of who you are, which is really what fashion is. It's really you expressing who you are through clothes. And honestly, so hair, if you have it, whether it's on the bottom of your face or the top of your face or on your back,
That is a statement.
It's an expression of who you are.
But I think that's why a lot of companies
No,
are
it's
against.
not.
But I think that's why a lot of companies are against like people wearing their natural hair in a lot of places because it is such an expression, such a strong expression of who you are and where you're coming from.
Yes.
But Destiny, what do you? Go ahead, go in, Destiny. You ain't gotta hold yourself. Let go of that mule, as they say in the church. Don't hold your mule. Let it go.
No, I totally agree that's why especially locks. I mean, not even just especially locks, but natural hair, period. Like, it's such a powerful statement. Like, it enhances a male or a woman's like view of themselves and their identity. And people don't understand how much work it takes to make your hair, what it is, or to bring definition to it and to make it, the statement that you want it to be with the outfits that you wear and all of those things that empower you to go forth in the job interview or whatever it is, or to even go to school. And so for that to be looked at as or viewed as like less than is beyond me. But I mean, like, depending on whatever I want to do, this is a style. Like, this is a style before a style. So I agree that with different looks or even like this, I cut my size off. People do whatever they want with their hair, and that doesn't make me less than a businesswoman or less than an entrepreneur. I think that it just enhances like my confidence in how I present myself. And like, there's people who are rocking tattoos. That does not change the beauty of their fashion or what makes them who they are. But when they step into as a pastor or whoever they are, like they gonna kill it. They gonna kill that assignment. So whatever my hair looks like, however I want to wear it, it's just gonna enhance my identity and how I present myself.
Yeah, it's
I
hair.
remember when natural hair was not appropriate. It's still not some places. I know somebody who's fighting for their son to get into a school because he has locks. Why are we debating if children should cut their hair off to get an education? That's not even fashion. But that, I feel like all things are fashion.
Yeah.
Like,
I was just saying, what does that have to do with
all
the
things are really
getting an
fashion,
education?
in my
You know, I totally agree.
People are afraid of what they don't understand. And so that's the biggest reason why we see a lot of these issues with hair, especially with people of color, African American people. I'm talking about of color, not knocking anybody else, but we see, in my opinion, the most prejudice shown towards us when it comes to hair. Because it doesn't matter if you have hair or don't have hair. As an African American, they'll find something wrong with your hair. Steve, have you ever?
Yeah.
That's how you want.
Yeah.
That's how you want to do it. Like, look, I had hair like when I was 5. Beautiful.
I'm trying to
Man,
figure out what that crack
in
was.
right there.
You had hair when you was 5.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah, I did. It was in the back, but it was still hair. I was born with this line.
Dang, that's a one ball head baby. I'll tell you about that.
My camera is something.
I just want to know who's typing that paper. You know,
To the back
Bro,
row.
they doing a whole paragraph.
good, special.
Man, we are being hacked by some typer.
Nobody is typing a paper.
I'm not saying somebody do want to do my thesis. I mean, man,
Look, when I used to
like
work at
this.
camp, when I used to work at a summer camp, you used to have to do hand checks because kids would be like throwing stuff during like lunch. So everybody hand checks. Show me your hands. Right.
Well, one of my hands is holding my phone.
Well, John, it might be you.
I'm typing with one hand.
That's not even typing. That's his bones like struggling right now to hold his phone for this long amount of time.
That's Alyssa back there.
The kids. The kids holding the phone. So we've been talking about fashion so far, but let's shift a little bit to a subject that is connected to fashion heavily. Let's talk about culture, and let's talk about what are some of the things that influence you all, or that you all think influence culture.
Well, I mean, I feel like culture and fashion goes hand in hand. Like for every movement in culture, there was a fashion movement along with that. Same with technology. Like those three things are very connected in the definitions of each like decade or even movement. So like with that whole 90s movement, that was the big cell phones, that was the baggy clothes, the bright colors. Then we get into 2000, it's iPhones and tighter clothes, skinny jeans, and whatnot. So that's how I feel like everything is kind of tied together, and influencing each other.
Anybody else have an answer for this question? All right, go for it. Were you saying yep in agreement or yep that you have an answer?
Oh, are you talking to me? First of all, everything is moving really like slow. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not. It's like really slow. Like I'm like you guys are talking, but what I'm hearing is not lining up with your lips. So I'm confused. But no, I was agreeing. I do want to hear the question again. Yeah, what happened?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
we have a side bet of what company you're with, what internet company you're with. We think you and John got the same type of company.
Where you at? The whole city behind me.
Nah, y'all can get off. Y'all can get off my company. No, but actually they need help. So.
Which company is this?
Okay, so. It's AT&T.
Oh, it's AT&T, man.
Well, Father, pray.
Father God.
Anyway.
Destroy AT&T.
Amen. I got AT&T at the crib.
No, really. Let's pray that. Amen. Okay. Back to your question. So, okay, actually, ask it again.
So what are some of the influences on culture? What are some of the things that influence culture overall?
Well, I will say that I'm seeing many fashion being produced. Fashion is produced based off of like what's happening in the current season. Like you'll see many designers, like all of their culture or not all of their apparel is like wrapped around the storytelling of like voting, like getting people to vote. So I believe that in itself is it's a message that they get across, and or like, let me get another example. Like God is Dope. God is Dope does things based off of popular statements, and that in itself is like their own culture. I think fashion designers have their own culture based off of like what's happening, and just staying current with the seasons. But for me, I don't want to get into me yet. What's his name? Jesus.
We know Jesus.
John. Who is the one who would answer first?
John.
Who
John.
answered the question first?
Spanky did.
Oh, Spank.
I did.
Spanky.
Was that John?
Spanky answered.
Well, I ain't
No, that was-
answered this question yet.
It was me,
Okay,
Spanky.
That was Spanky. Spanky, what did you say again about culture being influenced in the current or right now?
I feel like culture, fashion, and technology like influence one another, you know, constantly. And every staple of decade or generation has been a fashion, technology / culture shift. So that's all I'm saying.
Me personally, I believe that.
I think.
Go ahead, Destiny. You gotta
It's a delay.
Yeah, you got a delay. Go ahead, Destiny.
It's a really bad delay. No, go ahead. No, I'm sick of it. Go for it, Sam.
That was a 10-second delay.
Right. It's like on TV when they have the like delay so they can like bleep stuff out just in case something happens.
Yeah.
We got it on the wrong person. That should be on Steven and John.
I'm about to say,
It makes
man.
me think of the
I'm about to say, I have been gifted with the anointing of profanity.
But I believe culture is affected by just everything in the world, like tied together. The world systems affect culture one way or another.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about culture overall, because there's like church culture, there's school culture, there's fashion culture, there's music culture. But I'm just talking about culture as a whole. I think everything in the world that's happening influences culture one way or another. And I think when people talk about culture, they think that we're just talking about technology, fashion, and music. But I'm talking about everything. Personally, I do believe there are culture vultures, so people who take from other cultures and use it like it was never seen or done before. What are you all's thoughts on culture vultures? Because some people don't believe in it. You go, Steve.
I think
One culture, what?
A culture vulture. Basically, people who appropriate the culture. I think the issue with cultural appropriation or culture vultures is that there is no, like you said, like there's no history involved. So somebody will wear braids and they'll say, "Oh, these are boxer braids." I'm like, "Oh my God, this thing is new," and it's not new. It's it might be new to you, or you may be comfortable doing it now, but but there's no like history behind it. Like sometimes I hear people use certain like slang, and it's like, "Oh, that's kind of cringe," but that's just what they do. One thing I'm learning to do now, because the culture has shifted, is to Like I can only argue the bare necessity. I can't give you the full force of everything I was raised with. What I have to do is I have to use enough tact to say like, okay, this is what's expected now. Oh, I need to know how do you want me to address you? What are your pronouns? That's a real thing. It's a real thing you got to respect in corporate
Man,
America. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are your
Yes.
pronouns? That whole thing. Like, you know, like find out who people are. And the truth is, like, depending on what it is, like if we need to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, like how much pain is it causing you to either not say something that's going to hurt somebody, you know, or to say something that's really not like if I have to address you as them, that's cool. I can still love you though. Like that's not affecting my bottom line, which is love. That's part of our culture, right?
Mhm.
Our culture is love, right? Like it is my job to love you,
Good.
not to transform you, no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? So like as far as culture goes, like understanding what the line is, like this is a line I don't cross, I don't compromise. But all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, granddad did it this way, mom did this way. Oh, if somebody sees this person doing this, you know, like somebody sees you with locks, right? They see you wearing locks. You know, back in the day, it's like, oh my God, they're so unprofessional. Like knowing how it feels to be a marginalized group. When other groups who are marginalized show up, you know, and culture now is really sensitive. You know, it's like cancel culture. It's like do something wrong, we're going to cancel you. You know, like I don't feel like there's a lot of room to learn in that particular culture. But what we do need to do is we need to respect human beings. We need to give human beings that bare level of respect that says you can walk down the street, look different from me, believe different from me. I got love for you, and I'm not going to attack you. You know what I mean? So, like, as far as culture goes, like looking at the world and really trying to walk in love with people, and if something offends you that much that it pulls you out of love, then we need to look at the issues with the culture that we're actually representing. I don't even know if I stayed on top.
Nah, you're good. Yeah, that was on point, Steve. I attack people on the street just because though. So
Hey, Steak Night, baby. Steak Nation, baby. We stay. That's my name in the streets. Jose, Steak Night.
just cause.
Steak knife.
And so we're talking about culture. So how do we believe that culture influences the church? Anybody want to tackle that?
a lot.
John, you want to tackle that?
I'll take that one. No,
Thank you.
honestly, it does. And to be honest, it actually affects it in the same way it affects just the regular secular world, because as different things are accepted and things are no longer tolerated, it kind of changes fashion as well. So if you notice the different ways of what's considered appropriate, what's considered like it's certain things we can't say now that you used to be able to say 10 years ago. So if you think about it, because of the certain shift in our culture nowadays, there's a lot of things that we can wear now that we couldn't wear previously. So just like in the church, like it's a lot of things we wear in the church now, like people would have been exiled for like 20 years for, like they literally probably would have been excommunicated from their families. Who knows? So it's like we're growing up in a good time because we're actually able to be in the church and still express ourselves and still be fashion forward, which was like never something that was able to happen. So I think right now, like the church is like just like the world is changing every day, the church is changing as well, and people are beginning to learn to accept people as they are and not just judge them off their appearance. And also understanding like fashion, like the clothes you wear, they also affect and influence other people. So of course, if you want to reach certain people, you can't reach them looking the way you look. You have to have people that look like them. Like if you're a millionaire, you can't bring a homeless man to a billionaire and say, "Hey, I want you to talk to him and drop some jewels." He don't want to hear anything from him because he's gonna say, "This dude don't look like nothing, don't look nothing like me," basically. So it's like you gotta sometimes have people that look normal, that look like you, like that can actually relate. And then also we gotta remember like everybody has their own style. Everybody is different. Like, so ultimately nothing can stay the same. If we stay stuck in that place, then ultimately you're just stuck in religion and you're getting away from what it's really about, is a relationship with God.
That's good. Anybody else want to tackle that before I give my opinion on culture in the church? Josh said I should address it. One of my biggest issues with culture affecting the church is I believe a lot of times the church just thinks what is popular in the secular world is going to work in the church. I remember when like Kurt Franklin was coming up in the 90s. And so churches were like, oh, we need to sound like that. And it was like, oh, Kurt Franklin's rapping a little bit over these songs. Let's rap too. And it was terrible. Please stop rapping in your youth services. We don't want to hear that. We came to church because we want to hear the word of God. We hear worship music. We don't want to hear an 85-year-old mother in the church with a hat on trying to spit bar.
I would kind of like to hear that.
Well, we want to hear it for all the wrong reasons.
Yes.
That mother got some bars, you know what I'm saying? But we don't want to hear that. People want to go to church to, have an experience with God. And I think a lot of times we churches try to gear their what am I trying to say? They want to impress the young people so much that they go out of their way to do it, and then it looks bad. And it's like, yo, that's not you. Be you. We'll still come if you're yourself. Don't put on skinny jeans, Reverend. And we know you ain't.
Talking about that's the youth pastor uniform. Skinny jeans and a sports coat.
Skinny
jeans. Clergy college, please.
Leather skinny jeans. H&M shirt.
But also too, like that goes back to like mainly the main rule of fashion. Like, you got to be comfortable and confident in who you are as a person. That's the thing too. Because if you don't feel like you got something to say, then of course you got to use gimmicks and stuff like that. So it's like that's the thing too. A lot of people ain't comfortable in themselves, so it's like they gotta try to take different avenues. But it's like if you're doing it the right way and it's you and it's real, people gonna. I'm known for mixed matching patterns, but that's become my personal trademark. Like, because I'm comfortable in that, I'm confident in that. It is like I've done it for so long. It's like now that's what people kind of expect. And it's like a norm, even though you can look on TV and they be like, you never supposed to match these patterns together. And I'm like, okay, what patterns they say don't match? I'm matching all those patterns. But I'm that comfortable and that confident, I know it's going to work. Like, but that's the thing too. Like in the church, we have to learn. We can't always try to conform to what other people want. We got to be confident in who God made us to be. Like, that's why he made us like that. He's gonna bring somebody along that's gonna respect what you got to say. You just got to be able to be yourself and say what you're supposed to say.
Got you. These cell phones are really bothering me tonight. Destiny and John, the most fashion forward people.
Yeah, it's messing me up.
Well, you definitely cut out a couple times in the midst of your long explanation, but I mean, we caught the gist of it though. We caught the gist of it.
Well, the three of us are actually using PC. I mean, using computers. So we have the Wi-Fi on the side.
But I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. The most fashion forward.
They're using data right now.
They said they got some kids in the back on bikes just riding. Oh wow!
Can I? Oh,
I mean that goes into the fashion thing of child labor. Fashion and child labor just go hand in hand. So if you need a good Wi-Fi signal, you might as well throw them kids on a bicycle and make it work for it. Oh, you want to play Animal Crossing? That's 5 hours on the bicycle.
Go ahead, Steve.
You see
the Brian Coleman put a well, first of all, Reginald Williams said skinny jeans and the t-shirt with the tail from the Packers. But Brian Coleman said, "How can your wardrobe spiritually affect you, negative or positive?" Now, personally, when I was a personal story I have is when I was coming up. Well, two things. First thing is I remember I had a ton of issues with GQ. I would get them every month for like 4 or 5 years, and one year it was like they were like showing trench coats, and I was like, man, I really want these. I think I showed my mom, like, man, I really want some trench coats. Didn't think anything of it. Got to the barbershop next week. 2 trench coats were waiting for me. Well, actually, 3 trench coats were waiting for me. So God has always heard me on the clothes side. He's always put clothes on my back. In Matthew 6, it talks about not worrying about what you're going to wear. Basically said, look at the lilies of the field. Not even King Solomon in all of his splendor was adorned like one of these. So like God has us on the clothes, but spiritually, God wouldn't let me wear a Vizu or True Religion. I wanted a Vizu so bad. They're like the coolest jeans. They had like the paint on the back. Like it was like still to this day. Like I would love to wear them. But he had me exactly. He had me look up the jeans, and then so looking up what they represent. Jaquay hates those shirts. Looking probably True Religion shirts, but I'm talking about back before people were like wearing them. But like this is like 06, 07 ish. But guy had me look it up, and he was like, you can't wear it. He's like, look at what it represents. Look at the mascot. Look at what this means. And that's when I realized like my relationship with clothes was different. It's not that every believers can't wear the stuff. It's that I personally could not wear the stuff. God told me not to wear stuff with skeletons on it. LRG released the Dead Serious hoodie. It was like the coolest thing ever. Like people were wearing it to Fright Fest at Six Flags. Like couldn't wear it. Like I just couldn't. What about me? Like why can't I wear the cool stuff? And it was it's just the Holy Spirit. Will sometimes he'll basically, like, depending on where you are with something, like some people can't listen to certain artists, you can't listen to certain music. If you're more open in that area, if that's an area that God has gifted you in spiritually, like he will hold you back from wearing certain things depending on who you are. Like it doesn't go for everybody. This is my personal experience. But yes, like what you wear, just like the things you listen to and the things you watch can affect you. Those things can really begin to affect you because there was intention behind it. There was intention behind it. There's something called people call baby making music. There is a reason it is called that. There was intention when it was made. The lyrics are specific. You know what I'm saying? Like they're closed. Like what? Like apple bottoms. What is the purpose of an apple bottom? You know what I'm saying?
To make the bottom look like an apple. Duh.
Exactly. So like in the fall of man, here we go. Like, everything is a circle. but you really do need to be careful with what you're wearing and when you're wearing it. Sometimes I like to pop an extra button. You know what I'm saying? Let the taco meat out.
You feel me?
When I'm in church, guys like, yo, you need to button that button up. It's a depending on who you are and what you're doing, you don't want to cause anybody to stumble, and you also don't want to open yourself up to anything. So you do need to check with the Holy Spirit when you're wearing clothes and when you're going into a certain environment.
That's real. I've had the same experiences for real. And I don't take too many risks. I'm pretty conservative, I think, in my dress, if you know me. But a lot of times I spend time with the Holy Spirit, like, what should I wear? And he's like, okay, wear this or wear that. And I literally think my wife hates this the most, especially when I'm buying stuff or when we're buying stuff. She's like, that's a crazy comment. When I'm buying stuff or we're buying stuff,
meet you or something in the chat.
I'll see a design or I'll see the name of something and I'm like, I can't wear that. And she'll be like, why? And I would like give her like this 3-hour history on it. And at the end of my 3-hour spiel, she's a little upset that I didn't just say it in 5 minutes, but I let her know why behind it. And I think as people who are saved, we should listen to the Holy Spirit a lot more when it comes to like our decision making when it comes to fashion. Like Spanky said, he is really like he likes to dress for comfort.
I have to be careful when I wear gray sweats, to church. It's a thing.
I cannot.
It's a
Those
thing.
are like bad at service that.
I'm trying to find a wife, and he who findeth the wife, you just gotta look.
Those are the do not wear. Like, nah, it's the both, dude.
Either Destiny is so disgusted with our conversation, or she's frozen
I'm
right
looking
now.
at
I
it,
can't
bro.
even tell.
Done.
I can't believe it right now.
But we gotta wait 10 seconds for that delay for her to hear what we just said.
Let's see.
Is she frozen?
4, 3,
Yeah.
2,
She's frozen, bro.
1.
0.
She's frozen.
Oh man.
Oh, she big
Her-
for it.
Her fashion so cold that she froze on video.
We'll bring Destiny back in shortly. But yeah, our dress affects us spiritually. Especially like Steve said, if you know who you are or you have the Holy Spirit is like, hey, you are representing me. You need to dress like this. I heard someone say about women in fashion before that they couldn't dress a certain way because the Holy Spirit was like, you're my daughter and my daughters don't dress this way. And the same thing with men though, like you're my son, my sons don't dress this way,
But also, I feel like you have to listen to the Holy Spirit and not people when it comes to that too, because people can put their own opinion and judgment on it, and it may not even be the Holy Spirit.
Yeah,
Like you got people like who just happen to have a good shape, like women wise, or built a certain way as a man, and like just because they feel convicted in their own spirit about what you're wearing and how they are like experiencing what you're wearing, now they want you to change, and then they'll throw whatever like clout they have on top of that. It's like if you got something that's hugging your hips, ladies, and that church mother come and throw a holiness cloth around your waist,
The two of them on it.
right, one for each cheek, but it's like but like that it's like maybe that's all that person had, when they came there, what I'm saying? So you kind of have to judge the situation accordingly. But then also it could be something that this person thought was baggy, and just because of their shape, it fits them that way.
yeah.
So it's like you can't just go assuming that like, everyone has a choice in the matter of what they wear. It might just be, what they have. But then that also goes to why the church, should be aware of the culture, not necessarily changing for the culture, church-wise, but being aware of the culture and what is liable to walk through your doors. That's only going to help you with your ministry tools, especially when you're trained on how to approach these situations.
Yeah, because you should. I believe in our. I believe all four of us, and when Destiny comes back on, I'll kind of speak in proxy for her too. We at some point in time have been addressed by somebody at a church about the way we were dressed. And there's a way you can do it and a way that you don't do it. I've been addressed in positive ways and negative ways by people about the way I dress. Like I've had people say, you got on ripped jeans, brother, you shouldn't be wearing ripped jeans. And I'm just like, okay. And I've had other people like, okay, if you are in a place of leadership, people might look at you.
But those are my favorite pants, Jaquay. Those are my favorite pants.
Those are the only pants they got, Jaquay.
Hey man,
but so there's a way to address people if they're not dressed a certain way or look a certain way, and we don't have to like beat it down their throat. All of us have to learn how to, be appropriate for church.
Hello.
You're there. You're just still freezing, Destiny.
You're frozen like the frozen treats Apostle Turner used to throw at us.
Destiny, are you on the Wi-Fi? If you're on the Wi-Fi, get off of the Wi-Fi and try your cellular data.
I was going to suggest the opposite. That seemed like some data stuff right there, bro.
You never know.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
The last time she was frozen, she looked upset. So
She
that
did. She
Oh,
did.
and
we have a happy destiny now.
Hey, really quick. I remember when I first started like wearing colors, like on my coffin from the Fresh Prince. And I remember like there were these girls in my Sunday school class. And they were like, "Yo, he's gay." Like they were just. I had on like my salmon colored pants with my navy blue shirt, or I might have had some like
I
canary
remember that outfit.
or something. It was just
I
like,
remember.
bro, I was like I was kind of like hurt behind that, but I just had to make a decision. And even after that, like when I first started wearing skinnies, like bro, when I tell
oh my
you,
gosh,
I was the
this is
first person
bad.
that lived in Chicago to
I'm
wear
messing
skinnies.
everything up. I should just leave. How do
No,
you
don't
leave?
leave.
No, don't leave. We have a diversity requirement to fulfill. Just good. We getting fined. No, but like I remember wearing skinnies, man, and people looking at me like, bro, you wild. And then it was like one, I think it was Shekinah Jones. She was like, "Oh man, I like that, Steve." I'm like, "Thank God." I'm not gonna have to go home and destroy my clothes. But no, it wasn't even that. It was just like I was doing something that wasn't that the people in that environment weren't used to. It was a thing. I mean, I got the clothes from a store in the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They were a little more forward. It was leaders. They were a
Bro,
little more forward, but it was just nobody had seen that happen on the black side.
but there's not many churches that are that fashion forward. If you look at a lot of churches, they're still stuck in the 80s and the 90s with their dress and their requirements of dress, you
I was
know.
coming back though, so they'll be straight.
I guess.
Bro,
If you see
I can't even argue.
if
No.
you see one of these three guys, not including myself, in the pulpit, then just know they're not going to look like one of your average preachers. Maybe John might wear a red suit. I could count on him for a red suit,
the one that pushed toward the VMAs.
but not like some of the brothers that be having on the Easter suits, and it's the middle of September.
Oh, I'm going to dress and press on Western. Believe me, I'm gonna have a Steve Harvey collection on.
With the gators, you get the gators.
Them Steve
Third
Harvey.
base,
Them Steve Harvey suits, you know. You knew you was something when your legs, like when you took a step and your pants was 2 steps behind you. Just like literally legit dress bell bottoms.
the hammer.
Bruh.
Yo,
Apostle Stevenson changed the game for pastors with fashion.
I think in Chicago, yes.
Yeah.
I don't even agree with that. I think your white pastors kind of changed the game with that. Because if you look at like the pastors of like Bethel or like Elevation, they were already doing the cut off jeans or cut jeans and t-shirts way before people were like, you got to dress in a suit every time you touch the pulpit.
To that point, we were talking about culture and the influence. Like that was like you can trace that back to like the mainstream fashion and even music affecting that, like like Hillsong, and like all these other groups, like like the sounds changed a bit and the fashion changed to almost mirror, at least on the production quality side, mirror like what had been happening in the world for a minute.
Right. You want a hot take? This is my hot take for the night, y'all. Black churches culture vultured white churches. Because not just from the fashion, but also from the music. We just put a beat to it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Before you respond, think about it.
No, because you know what separates the culture vulture from the person that's in that culture? The feeling. It's the feeling. So technically, no. Because the culture vulture has no type of attachment to what they're appropriating. They're just leeching on to something. But if you think about it, we're taking songs and that's why when you hear them, nobody's songs really sounds the same. Like it's like 12 of the same gospel songs, but none of them really sound the same if you really think about it.
But if we go back to the roots though, to the hymns, hymns.
No, I get it. But then there was a season where all CCM songs made it to the black church by like
Yeah.
someone going to see this and he's like, that's a great song. I'm gonna just put a fat beat to it, or we're gonna add these 3-part harmonies to it. It's like, and then he's like, oh man, you don't have to dress in a suit to do this musical. Like your choir doesn't all have to be in robes to do this. Like we don't need 15 singers up there. We can just do it with 3. You know, it's just like that
Okay.
type.
So I hear that. It's like it's the like I get the shift, but I grew up listening to like Stephen Curtis Chapman, Michael W. Smith, and like Fred, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel you like the church as a whole kind of shifted on that, because like Chris Tomlin's version of Indescribable.
I want to answer Brian's question, but I don't know if you guys can hear me.
There you go.
We got you.
Speak while you can.
She said, I got 1 good second of reception. Let's go.
Let's get it. The kids start riding the bike in the background.
OMG. Now I'm the one with the Android.
She feeling Android spirits right now.
You see that Brian Coleman's question?
Yeah, let's go. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. So, like, while Destiny has reception, let her answer this question. Is there a double standard if women's pastors wearing certain clothes in the pulpit? I'm sorry. Heck yeah, it is. I've heard talks. I've heard people getting talks from off the pulpit. Like, look, you can't wear that. You're too blessed for that on the pulpit. You have too much.
You really just have to know what to wear. Real quick break. Shout out to one of my fashion influencers for checking us out right now. My big brother Chris, all the way from DC.
What's happening?
He's a fashion icon too. He dressed like real Chicago, like Jordans, t-shirts, and jeans. So he like real chill. He know how to dress up though too. But shout out to my brother for watching.
Steal your auntie.
That's the shade is real. The shade is real.
Shade, doesn't
But I do think there is a double standard if women pastors wear certain things in the pulpit. But I think that standard should apply to men as well. I don't think when you're in the pulpit, this is my personal opinion, the attention should not be on you per se. It should be because you're preaching, but people shouldn't be looking at your clothes or seeing that, as a guy, like your pants are too tight,
Hey, nipple prints and dick prints are hand in hand. They're synonymous. They happen.
There we go. Straight like that.
Like this is a show where we real. So those are two very real topics. Those are 2 real names in the culture, and like it's a thing. There's dudes that literally check their prints before they walk out the house, and I don't know about women, but like some guys work for that,
Yeah, like brothers, you should be appropriate while you're in the pulpit, and women as well. It's hard for somebody to get delivered from lust if you just slaying it on the pulpit. You feel me? Like you can't do that. You can't.
That goes for the old school brethren too, wearing those 5X dress pants with the pagers. Fam, who's paging you?
I still got a pager. Y'all got to chill, fam.
Like, are you a doctor? I know they say you're a doctor. I know it was like
He on call. He stay on call. Y'all
got the Cheesecake Factory. They went to tell you.
Your table is ready. That's COVID table service for real. Like you gotta wait 30-45 hours.
But you legit, I think if you're in a pulpit, or you have attention on you from a large group of people doing services, you should be mindful of what you're wearing. Don't it's not. We shouldn't be responsible for the downfall of our brothers and sisters because of the way we dress,
And then your body reacts to certain amounts of adrenaline in different ways too. And that's what people have to realize too. Like being in front of people is an adrenaline rush and your body will act accordingly. Yeah. So you want to dress to not accentuate those happenings with your body. I feel like we're in a health class. Your body is going to go through some changes.
It's like PE. It's like PE. All right, children. Let's talk. Because we will have to throw holiness cloths on you.
Yeah, even the guys, we're working on some holiness smocks.
Yeah,
Holiness loincloths.
yeah.
I mean, honestly, look. When it comes to women, like if I can't see the slip like underneath the dress, if the slip ain't longer than the long dress that come down to your shoes, I don't want it. You're not holy enough for your boy. Remember that. I need the slips to be longer than dresses.
Destiny is reaching us from the Facebook world.
Hey, look, technology. Shout out to technology for keeping our guests in the loop tonight.
Sam, you got to read that. I don't got my glasses on.
Okay, cool. It is no.
Wow.
You want me to do it, teacher?
I got this one, yeah.
You got it, bro?
It is. It used to
Okay,
be
okay.
and still is, but less women who preach with the fire gun in their mouth care. I'm seeing fashion more on the pulpit now than in trends. So she's saying, I believe, and she could correct me in the comments that she's seeing fashion forward women in the pulpit more than ever before. So women who aren't just dressing like first ladies or the pastor's wife. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with it. So any first ladies out there, don't get mad at me.
That's
wrong for
St. John spirit.
Hey, Joe. Sometimes St. John is hidden, man. You got to appreciate little grays in the hair.
Yeah, and I think it's partly the responsibility of our leaders too to be like Spank said earlier. We have to be ahead of the curve too.
Yeah.
You have to be if in this day and age when everything is on social media. One of the ways that people are attracted or drawn to preachers, especially people in our age group, is the way they dress.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, if your pastor dress trash, then people might not want to hear the word that they're saying. It can be a good word. It's the Bible, forward, backwards, crazy revelation. But if they don't like the way you dress, they're not gonna listen to you. They're gonna turn you off.
And then there's a difference between that pastor that dresses for his age, that instead of dressing for the culture. You know what I'm saying? If you get like a nice, respectable aged man, like he's like got the gray silver, but he dressed in a nice casual shirt and some like tailored jeans, then you'll be like, you'll respect what comes out of his mouth more so if he came with you with the tight jeans and the sport coat and and the Access 2020 shirt with the tail on it.
Yeah. Church with the tail. Can I get one of those? Delia? Are you about to deal?
Really quick, Sydney just made a point about Sarah Jakes, and I think that's a really good example. I just kind of pulled her up. I've seen her dress, but just going through these pictures, like she dresses really well, but it's nothing that's like, it's nothing that's like making me, feel a certain way. But I think another thing is like this is kind of a touchy subject too, because one of the things we have to do as gentlemen that believe is also take responsibility for our part in this. Like we should be able to at a certain point be seeking deliverance on a level where we can kind of like make a vow with our eyes. You know what I mean? Like and that's our responsibility in this whole thing. Is we really need to stop feeding ourselves things that are really having us look at women in a particular way.
That's real.
I'm the first one up, for that. So I think we also need to change the culture so that women don't feel so uncomfortable around us.
Okay. No, that's real. That is super real. Like you have to, like the church is a hospital for sick people, right? And even if that woman isn't sick, she, like Steve said, they have to be able to be comfortable. You don't want to go anywhere that you're not comfortable at all. I
mean, that should be for men and women too, because I've definitely been in churches where I did not feel comfortable nor safe.
Oh, from women?
Yeah.
I have a double standard, man. Like, check your boy. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, especially like because I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, like how like arranged marriages are like for real in church. You know, when you walk into and you see somebody new, and then you got he know how to dress, he's worshiping, you know, God. So that's already like that's women's weaknesses right there. To seeing
Under
the
the
man raise
Michael
his
Moore
hand,
Act, baby. knocking people out, getting it in. You know what I'm saying?
but like you know, like you those eyes automatically like drag, you know, come to you when you have like a lot of your stuff together just off of appearance, you know.
Yeah, that's how I found my wife. I was just visiting other churches, you know, and I'm joking.
You was cruising other churches like, yo, I'm looking for a wife.
That one tear fall during Oceans.
The single solitary gangster tear.
You got to do the CCM hand though, the one hand,
Super
the
strong.
right hand.
You got a little
Super,
shake in it.
the hand on the heart and the hand in the air with the tear.
Do a head nod. I love you, Jesus.
No, that's not how I found my wife. Anybody? I didn't. Church house.
He didn't find it. The prophets brought it.
Low in the comments, let us know. Low, is that how he got you?
Oh, I slid in her DMs, yo. But that's a story for later.
Yo, girl, I like the way you worship. Yeah.
Your worship hand be on fire.
Worship and chill.
Just want to lay hands on you, girl. Oh yeah.
Oh,
John, you been mighty quiet over there. I don't know if it's your reception or you just ain't have much to say.
Disrespect.
No, y'all broke up that time. What you say?
It was his reception.
What's something that we think so we talked about how culture influences the church in a way, but what's some ways that the church can influence the culture? I think it's one easy way.
Share your way, because I don't see a way, because like the church is so behind on influencing culture right now.
It's one way, and that one way is follow the Holy Spirit, and I feel like that's it. He'll teach us.
We're gonna get you a t-shirt that said that. I think you said that every show.
Hey, look, I've learned that so much, especially since being married. Follow the Holy Spirit.
I think like one of the things I'm looking at is lately is like, you know, just like when I think about having children and I think about like, oh, here's the reason you would pop your kid. When I think about the way God deals with me when he's trying to get me back to him, and you know, and he keeps reminding me with love and kindness have I drawn you. And I think that's a way to really, really affect the culture, because people are waiting to be rejected. They're waiting to be rejected also so they can call you out and cancel you. So what would alter that is the loving kindness. Here's the thing. God knows we sin, right? He doesn't destroy us the first chance he gets. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't pop us. You know, usually that first time, it's like a warning. It's like, hey, you need to chill. I mean, you may get popped. You may get popped. But I promise you, God he was using loving kindness all the way up into that pop. And even with that pop, it's still loving kindness, because he really could have wiped you out. You know what I mean? So I think like that, using the loving kindness, looking at people and dealing with them the same way that God dealt with us, with patience. We did not. Most of those people who stopped smoking one night, those are rare. Those stories are rare and few in between. There are plenty of Bible-believing Christians that smell like loose squares. You know what I mean? They're still trying to get delivered from the thing. You know what I'm saying? And God is still patient with them. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So like, if we can influence the world if we use that same loving kindness when we look at people in their mess. Like you see somebody in sin and you use the same, and God's like, they're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get it because God, he sees outside of time. He sees your whole story. Mm-hmm. Like we look at people and we want like conversions in that second. It doesn't work like that most of the time. So I think that loving kindness and that patience is a way that we can really influence the world, and in not canceling people, but educating people. it's probably more helpful to get to the root of why somebody is racist than it is to just totally destroy their livelihood and think that's going to set an example.
That's real.
I like what Brian Coleman said. He said, I think real kingdom marriages and relationships are attractive to the world. I've seen Pastor John Gray and Mike Todd giving relationship advice and life advice on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. Like that is the American dream. But I also see, like, for every one, John Gray or Mike Todd, there's also like 5 other pastors who are the opposite of that, So, I mean, like, they could be an influence, but they also can be a hindrance. Just saying.
No, that's real.
It's a two-sided coin.
It definitely is. Some people don't. How do I put this? When we talk about culture and influencing culture, anybody who influences culture will tell you, I'm just being myself. Now, whether or not they're actually being themselves or being somebody else, they find a way to be themselves. So if the church could find a way to just be the church, be cool with being the church, not being a young hip church,
right?
We'll be fine. But until we figure out how to do that as a whole,
I think it's harder for a church to kind of be themselves just because it's comprised of so many people.
That's true.
But like that goes back to like when I listened to the one conference, knowing when to market your ministry or knowing when to market your leader. So it's like knowing if your leader is like very like well put together, then yeah, maybe you want to lean more so on your leader to pull the ministry along on that side of things. But if your ministry is doing some cutting edge stuff, then you market your ministry on that. If you have like a bunch of fashion forward people, then those people need to be in your commercials and in your promos for your church, that type of lane, that where you're marketing your ministry. And then if your leader has a word, then that's secondary to it. But if your leader has a word and is very fashion forward and is very personable and has a personality that just grabs people, then you might want to lean on marketing your leader in that aspect of things. Because then you can then that person can affect the culture because now people are gravitating to that. Same with ministry; they'll gravitate to a ministry that's advertised really, really well.
That's real. I was gonna ask John, what were your thoughts, but you're frozen.
He wasn't frozen; he's deep in thought.
He was like,
"That's deep thought."
Yeah, the quinceañera after this, boy.
Let me know when I'm on frozen.
Now, what's your thoughts on ways that the church can influence culture?
Thank you.
By just being the church.
Are you talking that slow, or
Honestly,
is that your reception? I can't tell anymore. I can't tell.
You don't know what's going on here.
Right. No, for real. I would say just by being a church, because it seems like in some regards the church tries to do too much instead of just doing the basic. Like we just supposed to love everybody. Like we can't be judge, jury, executioner. We can't run everybody's lives. Like we just gotta love people and pray for them, and just let God work it out. Like it'll be a lot easier that way. We'll see a lot less issues that way, probably too.
That's right.
Because honestly, when you really think about it, because even when you think about like just all of us growing up in the church, like anytime like somebody said something to us about our clothes, like it generally wasn't in the right spirit, So it was like when we took it, it was like, dude, who are you talking to? Like I'm gonna wear some worse outfit next week just because you said that, But the thing is, like, what if somebody would have just came and explained it, like, look, like, it's the image, like, it's something, is what you portray it.
Who you think you're talking to, old non-dressing boy, old?
You can make 6 pair of pants out of that 1 pair of pants.
Oh, let me check my white balance on your suit face.
Oh, you got 3 extra links in your watch, boy.
Oh, my teeth match my yellow shirt face.
Yo, that's real. It's about identity in fashion. And in the way we dress, we find identity, or it should tie into who we are as people, and it kind of explains, who we are. So when people see us before we say a word, they already judged us, based off how we dressed. Unless they heard like a 3-hour bio about us and it sounded really good, then that's different. But normally,
like Kanye said in Estelle's American Boy, before he speaks, his suit been spoked.
feel me?
Beast.
I tried to correct the English of it, but just because I was quoting.
Bespoke is educational moment. Bespoke is it's a custom suit.
Right.
It's a bespoke suit.
But I knew it was a fashion line. I may not know clothing lines or things like that. I just found out that there was a Christian Baton. Like that's the real name for red bottoms. I didn't know that.
Oh, Christian Louboutin?
Oh, Louboutin.
Yep.
Yeah. I bought some of those, Can somebody buy me some? They ain't that expensive.
Well, you want the ones with the spikes that look like Nick Cannon's incredible
well, first of all, I'm a grown man, and I would not be wearing spiky shoes.
So is Nick
or glittery shoes, just because they have a.
Depending on what neighborhood I'm going to, I wear some spiky shoes.
I'm gonna get you the incredible headphones, all bedazzled out. Don't worry about it. I got it.
See, a little bit of trash, bro.
The first lady of LIN Live has spoken on the comments. She said the church leadership has to accept and love people as they are and where they are.
That's real. Talk that talk, baby. Talk. Yeah, and I'm gonna throw those shoes right next to Nick Cannon's album, Steve, right in the trash.
No, first and foremost, pocket full. Oh, that's Ray J. My bad. I really don't know any Nick Cannon
song. One of our advertisers, one of our vendors for tonight, he said Gold Coast Barbershop does was that bespoke haircuts. See, I don't even know how it's spelled. I'm like, wow, I'm just learning something all week this week.
You all are learning.
How do you do red bottom haircuts? How do you do that?
Well, you gotta on the side, you get the red down, and on the top, you get smooth like me.
Oh, like the Beijing. Oh, okay.
I'm telling you, if I told myself if I'm single at 36, I'm getting a unit. Okay, it's gonna be the braids. It's gonna be the braids with the little knot at the top.
You got the D'Angelo. How does it feel? Braid.
Either that, I'm a mail order right off
of Amazon. The Tigers.
Look, now we gotta go act brand new. Like at least growing up, I knew dudes who had weave in their hair when they had the Allen
the little braid.
Yeah, and a little extra weave in there.
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants them braids that are not quite braids, the struggle braids. Nobody wants the struggle braids.
Shout out to the women who sat there and just braided baby fro.
Struggle ponytails and struggle braids are a real thing. They were very prevalent in the 90s, where you had those women who had the pullbacks with the scrunchie on it, but with no hair coming through the scrunchie. The struggle tails are real.
I could do a ponytail still though. No front on your boy. Give me a year. Let the back grow out.
Be a rat tail now instead of a ponytail.
Man, it is luxurious where it grows.
Got that neck hair, pulling that neck hair.
Man, nothing with your boy.
You can get that transplanted onto your head.
I mean, get the back hair on the head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fam,
yeah, they cut the hair follicles from your back and your booty and put it on your head.
Oh my god!
Why not?
Yeah, booty hair. Legit in there like booty hair.
Hey, so what's y'all like worst fashion? What's one of your like horror moments or worst fashion moments? I had a picture of mine, but I can't find it. So that was the Lord telling me don't post it. I'm dressing trash, so I can keep up this front that I dress really nice all the time.
Stephen has disappeared when we said that.
He ain't want to talk.
I guess.
Right.
John, what about you, man? Like,
what? I'm always flat. What you mean? No lie. Want to say okay about this. I don't even know if you remember Caesar denim. Like it was out some years ago. I had these I had these Caesar pants. They was dark blue and they had like the biggest lion heads on the legs on the front. Like, and then they had red stitching on the sides. Like, them joints was horrible. Like, and I had a white and gold t-shirt to go with. Like, I thought I was the best. No flex. I thought I was the best. I was like, yo, can't nobody touch me. Like, I was the flyest ever.
Yeah.
And
I
was just be like, what was I thinking? Like, why did I put that on? Like, who told me that looked good? That and see-through Air Force One. That and see-through Air Force One.
Wow.
Two of the worst mistakes in life. Yeah.
All of my
I
fashion
actually
faux
wore
pas,
see-through Air Force One.
all of my fashion faux pas came from when my mom was buying my clothes. My mom was a very affordable. She very affordable minded woman. So she would see the real price of like FUBU, and then she would go and find it at the Chinese store for a quarter of the price.
Yeah, she bought you that for them by them.
Man, Fonyang Banyang. She bought me that Fonyang Banyang.
Well, this is our last broadcast.
Because like people was like, they was like, when did FUBU start putting Chinese lettering on their shirts? And I was just like, it's that new one. You know what I'm saying? That's that Fonyang Banyang. You know what I'm saying?
I can remember my worst moment. I had on. I remember the exact outfit. It was a cold day in an early or mid to late 2000s. I had a leather brown Sean John coat, and this was like 2006, 2007. So like my clothes were still real big, and I'm skinny, so this shirt was way too big. And I had on like one of those shirts with like it was one of those shirts with the fake chains on it. It was a rock and roll shirt with the fake chains on it, and I had on like some really like big blue jeans. Like them joints looked like they were too big for my daddy, like big. And then like some Reeboks. I don't remember what type of Reeboks they were, but they were some Reeboks. And I remember seeing that picture one day and thinking, who did I think I was? And there's another moment. My parents used to make us wear like those like shiny like windbreaker sweatsuits, and I remember looking like Diddy and Mace.
Take that.
Sweatsuits.
Steve, was one of your worst fashion moments.
Before I get in,
I don't care how much they style out. Never wear one of those.
Before I get into this, I wanna come at Brian Coleman real quick because Iceberg was hard. Okay, here's the thing. One thing you have to do is you have to respect the fashion of the day. Like me, like I have a picture when I'm wearing some white mid Air Force Ones, some platinum FUBU with the brown hornet on the back pocket and the platinum FUBU shirt. I would never stunt on that outfit. It was cold the day I wore it. And I wish I had Iceberg in the early 2000s, but my worst probable fashion decision was when I was telling y'all earlier about me creasing my dress pants. Creasing my jeans and putting a cuff in them. And like, it was just like, so like, man, it was bad, bro.
That's the old man vibe, man. Like,
it was. I'm thinking like, yo, I just need to do something new. No.
Was it a cuff? Or was it a crease in the cuff though?
It was both, bro. Because I went to the tailor. And I'm like, yeah, I want you to basically I want a crease in them, and then bro, I was, man.
Wow.
It was
you had the Denzel Washington style.
That's real life though. It was that old school Denzel. That was probably the worst. Brian, the Disney characters, Mickey throwing up West Side, bro. I can't believe it. Turning your back on yourself in the 2000s. I would wear it today.
Gangsta Mickey was on point. I enjoy Gangsta Mickey.
My mom checked me. My parents did keep us in fly clothes. I'm not saying they didn't. It was just some of them outfits was like straight 90s joints. I remember like the first pair of mics my parents bought me. They bought me some infrared 5s. I was in 3rd grade, and that is my favorite like Jordan of all time. But I also remember when people were wearing those SpongeBob Jordan 4s. that were not real in like the early 2000s.
I missed out on that.
Thank the Lord you did, because it was a
Boy,
terrible in sneakers. Because those shoes, the see-through Air Force Ones. What else was trash back then? It was so many bad shoes.
Okay, the see-through Air Force Ones were bad. It was a bad in practice, but off the foot it looked great. On the foot they steamed up real bad. It was on the foot. I would defend those. Honestly, bro, like some of the stuff was hard. It just did like Tommy Gear goggles, like dudes wearing pacifiers with lights.
Or the Band-Aid under the eye because of Nelly, you know.
The light up belts.
Like I don't remember. That sounds like I can't know. I'm not gonna talk about a particular side, but it sound like something the opposite of East Side person would wear. Tuck their white T-shirt in with the coach belt with the coach hanging off of it.
The tag just got the coach tag. We didn't have the coach belt, just the coach tag.
Remember when Liberty was spray brushing the not Liberty, but the people were there. They were like selling the spray brush coach wallets.
No, I remember people like was selling the wallets though. Like that was a hot thing.
The long ones, yeah. I think I got one in the back.
Amina says, "What about the jackets made out of beach towels?"
Oh, the terry cloth joints. Like what's that? But like Joe Freshgood did some, and they were decent. Like
oversized white tees with headbands. Okay, I went through that. I went through that season, especially when Foot Locker was selling the oversized, like the long tall tees, and they had them for 5 for $20. Bro, I would stock up.
Tall tees were always wild to me. First of all, I was never that tall, but still, like it's nightgowns.
The taller the tee was, though, like the more respect you got. Like people wanted to know, like, if your tee was down to your ankles, you was the man.
The white tee, well, to me, looks like a nightgown. Hey.
My cousin had wristbands, 2 hairbands. You remember you used to cross the hairbands?
You had to.
But then, like, would people sag all the way as low as they could with their tall tee, so their pants would be like at their ankles. If they shirt go to the ankles, their pants at the ankles too.
I was never here for the all the way sag. I always appreciated a little sag. My brother was alive. Somebody actually had a problem with him sagging. The only issue with that is it was a little sag, and the dude was the valedictorian of his class, and he was also like a junior deacon. Like he was actually like living something. All he had was a little sag. Man, I was witnessing on the train once, and these 2 Christians came to me and they said I had a Supreme hat on and some Air Yeezys, and they were like, "I can't believe what you wearing right now. How dare you?" And I'm sitting there like, "Yo, what just happened, fam?" Like I just told the whole train of people God loved them, you know. And it was just like, and they were like they were caught up on the Supreme and the Yeezys. Like
hey, Jesus told the demon to shut up, so you should have been like, "Shut up, fam."
Not on 95th at the terminal.
the demons over there.
I'm chilling.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Any last thoughts that you would like to share with people on the fashion and the culture and those things working together or working against each other? John, you first, since we don't know when your reception is going to go out. Go ahead.
All right, real quick. It's real simple. My tip is the most important one. First off, don't buy no iPhone. Secondly, be yourself, be comfortable, who you are, and be like me, be free.
Hey, spoken from the man, free himself.
Need to free himself from cricket and that Android.
What you got for us? Closing remarks.
Me and Metro PCS is cool over here.
Closing remarks. Do your research. You can look up Fashion Week, see what people are wearing if you want to try to get a jump on trends in other areas. New York Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week. Look up fashion in Italy, and ask the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, he'll never lead you wrong. He always knows what's on trend. So yeah. Oh, also, patience and love. The same way God treats you, treat everybody else.
True.
Yeah. So before you ask that, what is those questions? Exercise patience and love. Because, bruh, what are those? No, I'm joking. So thank you again to our guests, and Destiny, thank you so much for trying to be with us.
Yeah.
But we super appreciate.
Yeah.
all of y'all.
I believe his Destiny was here. I'll give her a little shout out. I know she commented a couple times in the comment. She is a really dope up and coming designer. So reach out to her. She made some really dope items. She has some hoodies and sweatshirts. I know I'm going to purchase personally. So reach out to her, holler at her. She has some dope ideas on fashion, and yeah.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and close this thing out. Thank you, John. Thank you, Steven.
Hang out backstage for a minute. We'll chop it up with y'all soon.
Cool. Yeah, what a great show. Thank you all for watching with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share all of your LIN live content. We out here just trying to educate and look out for everybody. Again, we got Big Sis, the Naomi's Corner women mentoring event this Friday.
Yep.
At 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then this Saturday, we have our LIN game night, network game night. That's at 7 p.m. Central also on Zoom. The Zoom ID is on the flyer. The flyer will be on the Liberty International Network Facebook page.
Yeah, so check that out. Make sure you go to teespring.com /store/LIN -live -show to get your LIN live merch. We got merch.
Ooh, baby, we got merch.
We got merch. We merching it that we got merch.
Yep.
And come back.
And make sure you follow and follow us on Instagram at LIN Live Official. We're doing some really cool things on there. That's how you keep up with us during the week. So we only get you for this hour and a half, 2 hours on Sunday, and then you can hang out with us throughout the week too on Instagram because we always on there somewhat. And then
thank you, Mama. I love you.
Mama, I love you. POP, hold it down. I think that's all. And then also thanks again to our vendor for tonight, Gold Coast Barbershop. Gold Coast Barbershop is located in the heart of the Gold Coast in Chicago at 100 East Walton. So come relax and unwind in a safe, completely private luxury atmosphere. Experience the next level in men's grooming and schedule an appointment with Master Barber Brian Coleman.
Master Barber.
You can book once again at www.goldcoastbarbershopshy.com. And then you can also follow them on all social media at Gold Coast Barbershop. Boom. Check them out. Because this cut that I got, my other camera died, but angles. Brian, he made it.
To cheat on my barber, I would cheat on my barber with Brian and Gold Coast Barber.
Yep.
Don't tell my barber I said that because I don't want to smoke.
But he did not only did it cut me up, bro. It was basically a facial. Like I had a hot towel on my face. He bladed me up with the lining. All the women like a nice crispy lining.
Well, maybe if my barber's out of town, then I'll go to.
I would be out there showing it out, but COVID is doing a thing again, and we've been pushed back a level in our opening thing. So Chicago, we back on level. What was that? 2, where it's only 25 people in there now.
Yep.
So
stay safe. Wear your mask, people.
Get your lives together. Put your mask on. We trying to get out of here.
You feel me? You
tired of being in the house.
Being inside Auntie Lori. Let's outside.
Right. We want to go outside and play. Well, it's getting cold. I don't want to go outside no more.
Nah. But in the spring we do.
Right. In the spring, I'm looking forward to. But like with this winter and we locked up, I'm like, look, you know what? I'm about to turn this heat up. I'm about to get us some pajamas, put a cover on the couch, and watch, some really cool movies. I'm about to Netflix and chill with myself this winter because that's safe.
Do what you can to stay safe.
Stay safe. That's the key.
That's it, y'all. Buy y'all merch. Thanks to my amazing co-host, Alfonso Spanky Jones. Nope, wrong way. I thought I had it.
And then my co-host, Sam Anthony. Samuel. We love you. Right?
Yeah, we love y'all.
We love y'all. We hope y'all love us. If y'all love us, tell a friend about the show. Share the show. Let's get up to 250 subscribers on YouTube so we can go ahead and spread this message really, really nicely. We're looking to make 1,000 subscribers by the end of, let's throw it out there. By the end of this year, we can do 1,000 subscribers. If y'all want with us, if y'all rock with us, help us get 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel so we can go ahead and do this thing the right way. Brian Coleman, thank you again. He's in the comments. If you want to reach out to him, his social media is in the comments on Facebook, YouTube. You can't see it, but we can see it. So with that being said, buy your merch. Watch us next Sunday. We love you, and we'll see you all. Hold on, wait a minute. We'll see you all next week.
It's LIN live with Spank and Sam. It's a show for everyone, boy, woman, girl, and man.